Dave, I think we're live, brother.
Okay, cool. Just telling.
First of all, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm just telling our main account here to retweet this from Maine. I'm doing well. It's been a fun, I don't know the word, but rewarding week doing the Barstool Fund. So raising a lot of money, helping a lot of businesses, and trying to get this thing bigger. And the more money we get, the more business we save. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, let's go into that. So first of all, before we get into this little Sunday night chat, I just want to wish everybody a happy holiday. Like, for the people that are coming from my community, yes, I was off the grid. That was the plan. No social this week. And then our very handsome friend here, Dave, tweeted out something. I saw it. I was in transit, actually, doing some family stuff. And it was very easy for me to get involved. I've been kind of off the radar between closing out the businesses and for the year and kind of setting up this off the grid time. But I had seen a little something about this, but I wanted, Dave, let's start this conversation. We're gonna, like I promised just now on the people I just texted, we'll do a little conversation about a little small business and a little sports, because why not?
Sure.
If it's Sunday NFL stuff. We could talk about the Jets game that just ended with the Browns. We could talk about a million different things, which I think would be fun because we've never really jammed like this before. But for the main thing, and Dustin, if you can throw up the URL right now, I know we've got it pinned elsewhere. For everybody tuning in right now, what I wanted to do was bring an enormous amount of awareness to this incredible initiative that I'm so proud of the Barstool family. I even had this beautiful hat I got the other day from doing the Sunday conversation. He's a talent, by the way. That was a fun interview to do.
Yeah, he's amazing, Caleb.
So I decided to bring it out because it's just really fun to watch people do good things. And I'm gonna let you take over the conversation. Dave, tell everybody who's not aware, what is the Barstool Fund, and a little origin story about it, and then we'll get into it.
Sure. So, basically the Barstool Fund started about, a week ago, maybe 10 days ago, somewhere around there. I've lost track. I think it's probably closer to 8 days. I went on a rant when New York City, they closed indoor dining. And I essentially said, I don't know what the city expects these people to do, the restaurateurs, the bars. They've already been squeezed to the end, and they're trying basically to do everything they can to stay open. They're being as creative as they can, whether it be creating the outdoor structures, the separation, the air vents, you name it, they're doing it. They're trying to be so creative. But I don't know how anyone can survive when you're not allowed to have customers. And then the flip side is you're not being given, any money really to help get you through this. So it's a killer. You can't earn a living, but the tax bill is still coming. So what are these people supposed to do? And I ranted about it. And a guy who I really wasn't familiar with, Marcus Lemonis, basically tweeted at me. He's like, hey, loudmouth, put your money where your mouth is. So, and he's like, I'll donate. If you start a fund and put $500K of your own money into it, I'll match it. So I was like, all right. My original take when he said that was a no-brainer. I was like, I will put my money. I've been fortunate. Barstool's successful. And then we spoke with Marcus about it because originally I was like, well, we're not a charity. Like, I don't know that we want to be touching all this money and moving around and deciding. Money was a simple thing. We talked to Marcus, and he works with the World Central Kitchen, great cause. And but when Barstool does stuff, and we have a history of doing a lot of charity over the years, forever. But when we do it, we like to generally control it. And when I say control it, have a direct say where the money is going, know how fast we can get it out. So Erica and I sat and we came up with this plan, which essentially we started with the 500 grand, said we want donations. We joined with a 501c, the 30-day fund. That was the original, my hesitations, like, well, we're not a charity. So how are we going to take money and let people get write-offs and whatever it may be and do it all legally in the right way? Well, we found the 501c with the 30-day fund, and they're like, we'll let you use our engine, and you can do whatever you want with the money. Tell us where the money goes, we'll send it. So that was step one. And then we came up with this plan, which is essentially you needed to fill two requirements. One, the small business. We said any small business who needs help immediately contact us. The requirements being you had to prove that you're a successful business over the course, hopefully, of at least a couple of years. Now, not everyone, as you get stories, there are strange circumstances, but that's rule one, because it's basically We wanted to see, hey, I've been running this thing for 10 years. It's my family for 20 years. And we've been successful every year. The only thing that changed was the pandemic. Because then if we're giving money to them, the assumption is once the pandemic's gone, they can get back to business as usual.
They're operators.
Correct. Yes.
It's not a concept.
It's not a concept. It's not something that which is horribly bad luck that you just started or something. But it's like, well, a lot of businesses fail. So are we like trying to get money to a business that we have no idea? Because that's great, but there's a million out there that are proven successes. So you gotta pick and choose your battles. And number two, we wanted the payroll one. We wanted to see companies, owners that were basically still paying their employees. A lot of them telling these stories like, I've gone into my savings, my retirement, I'm mortgaging stuff. Those speak to us all to keep their employees paid and fed and all that. So if you met those two requirements, from there, it's just feel. It's the story. It's the video that they provide with us.
Who's on the committee? And by the way, everybody's watching or listening, please go to barstoolfund.com. It's important, so I'll jump in. We'll be a little helter-skelter. But I was about to ask, who's making the judgment on feel? Is that strictly you? Is that you and Erica? Is that a small little committee? Yeah,
so we have, it's led by Liz Gonzalez, who from the second she's worked with us has been huge into philanthropy, worked at charity before, but she's the initial line of defense. We've added more people going through the emails, and there's so many of them, and unfortunately, so she goes through them. Some are just discarded. They don't provide the information that we need. So it's like, there's 10,000. Yeah, there's 10,000. If you don't come with what we're asking, it's tough. Then she narrows it down. We get the videos, and then I get probably like 20 to 25 a day that I go through, and then it's feel. Now, it's also, the money has been flowing pretty nicely. So we haven't had, most of the ones that get to me, I'm like, yep, because I'm banking on we're going to continue to grow, get more donations, and we want the money out. I'd rather run out of money faster than sit on it waiting for other companies.
So this has been going on for a little over a week.
Yep.
And if I'm looking at this correctly, Dave, you've raised $7.4 million.
Correct. Yep. 7.4 million. And I think over 60,000 people have donated. So it's coming from all angles. Individual $5 donations.
67,000, almost 68,000, yep. Almost 70,000 people have donated. And by the way, for the Vayner Nation, a lot of people in my ecosystem, outside of what I did with the All-In Challenge, and so we raised $59 million. Michael Rubin from Fanatics, similar agenda, a human who wanted to do something. I got very, very involved in that one. Same, it's astonishing that you've raised this much money, Dave. It's obviously hit a huge accord, and plus the community that Barstool has is just remarkable. Normally 97, 8, 9% of the time when this happens in my life, I do what I did, which was, you gave the shout out, I DM'd you, we had a phone call, I made a commitment, but kind of knowing that I had this Sunday afternoon and just knowing my community, I actually have an inbox email from somebody who's matching my donation from another company that I'm working with.
That's great. And that's why I wanted to do it. And that's one of the things why I reached out to you. So, and another thing I've been doing, and I didn't do it to you because
I apologize, Dave. I apologize. So final thought on that. Everybody who's watching right now, if you have the ability to support the small businesses that I kind of kick some tires, and I love the way they're going through this. They're really, I think the dollars are going to the right places. The reason I'm so involved in Charity Water and Pencil Promise is the money goes to the thing. It's not the 30% of the money going to the infrastructure. If you're lucky enough, and this is really why we wanted, and thank you for coming on, Dave. What I wanted to do was really just give a shout out to my community and saying, hey, if you can give anything, and especially this is really where I'm at because I get 1,000 emails like this a month, which is the greatest gift of my life. If I've given you advice, whether it's sports cards or whether it's been social media or TikTok, and you felt an economic impact, if you're in a place where you can give 1% of that back into the Barstool Fund right now by going to the website, it would mean the world to me. I just think doing the right thing is always the right thing. And so please consider that. If you can't, then that's remarkable. I understand, but I wanted to bring awareness tonight as well. So go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, and even I'd echo what I think is driving that and driving the money and why you were just so passionately. The videos that we're putting out, when we call and tell these business owners, hey, the fund's going to be there, and we tell them, which I don't think I said the first time, we're not just there for 1 month. We're just not there for 2. We're going to be there till the economy opens up and you can run your business, because what is the point of giving somebody a check in 1 month and then you disappear in month 3 and they're right back in the same spot?
So when
they're in trouble. We lose the money. So we have this expanding payroll basically now. So everyone who's in the fund, they can depend on us for that nut. We get all their tax. So it's a lot on our end. Like our finance with Gia, shout out to her. She's getting their, taxes, their rent.
You're really auditing this businesses. You're probably making a 9 month, if I was part of the team, I'd say, hey, let's project 9 months. Cause I think that's best case scenario. September, shit gets back to normal. You're running those numbers. By the way, Hugo, I see you in the comments. Yes, that was me just sending the text. Dave and I were doing our promotions right before we went on. That was my 2 fucking fingers, brother. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that's part of it. And then if you see the story, if you watch the videos and the reactions, that like there's some that stand out. There's a dry cleaner.
I see you doing the FaceTimes, right?
Yes. So
and they're just like fucking crying and shit.
Yes, it's like the move the bus thing when they move the bus on that old house show, and but they don't know I'm calling. So it's a little complicated because FaceTime actually doesn't let you do voice record. So I have another guy who stands behind me. I do it, and then we merge the sound together. But it's the most impactful marketing we can possibly have. I mean, these people are breaking down, and you see the stress of these business owners.
Dave, some people in the comments, because I'm reading along on all platforms. Thank you, everybody who's on Twitch, Facebook, all the platforms, LinkedIn. Some people are saying they can give any amount. Is that correct?
Any amount, yes. Yep.
Fantastic.
Any amount.
You can absolutely give more chocolate 24. You can give any amount. I just want to, again, thank everybody who's willing to give from the goodness of their heart. Dave, what stood out? What have you learned in a week? And then, by the way, I know a lot of people are asking for us to do a little entertainment. We'll talk a little sports in a minute. I actually want to see where you are on the sports card thing, because I've been dying to ask you about that. But anyway, what's stood out?
The hardest part, I think, and it shouldn't be surprising, is these small business owners really don't want the money. Like, they need it, but there's an element, like I try my best not to call this. No, they don't want to feel like it's charity. They want to work. So I've done my best not to call this like a charity, like we're just helping you. But they're running. There is an element of psychology.
Have people? I'm sorry to interrupt. Have people said, "I'm going to pay you back"? Like,
yes.
Has there been that? Yeah. I get it. Listen, I fucking get, bro. I don't want to owe anybody any. Like, I understand that shit.
Yeah, and there's an element like you're taking money. It's like I've been successful. I'm running. I shouldn't be here, and it's to no fault of their own that they are.
Dude, this is unfucking precedent. This is unfucking. This is the fucking once in every 100 year shit. And by the way, one of the things that really pulled at my heartstrings on this whole thing, and I've been doing some things behind the scenes, and why I really jumped on your thing here, is it was a luck of the draw fucking game.
Yep.
Like like my dad. I grew up in a liquor store that has done well.
Right.
In this environment. Go ahead.
It's geography. I mean, you can be 100 yards away from something in the same business. We did a yoga. We gave to a yoga studio today, and she's saying, and it makes sense. She's like, our people don't move. We put mats 6 feet across. They can wear masks, and you can get on an airplane.
And by the way, on the record, I'm not government bashing either, because this is fucking hard.
Right.
The whole thing's fucking hard. The whole fucking thing, right? Sweden was fucking unstoppable until they weren't. This is fucking hard.
The number one thing, which I agree, and I think a large degree of the frustration is like they're not being communicated with. They're like, there's no plan. Like we're just sitting twiddling in the wind, and that's incredibly frustrating.
And to me, what really is interesting about this, and again, I felt the highs of this when I was really scared in March and April for my own fucking businesses, but with Ruben on All In Challenge was, and then we live in an internet world, you and I live in a country that does have the freedoms to just do shit in comparison to other places in the world. Here the fuck we are, two fucking guys, just sitting here, and you and your incredible team have fucking raised $7.5 fucking million in 10 fucking days.
It's incredible. It is.
It speaks to or you could just do shit.
Right. And that was essentially this. And that was Marcus Spurs like, all right, yeah, let's do something. And I wish we did earlier because there's so many businesses that have already gone. You walk around New York City, you see boards up everywhere. It's super depressing.
Yeah. What else can we touch on? And then, by the way, everybody, I see all your comments. If you want to ask questions, happy to answer or ask Dave the questions. Anything else that we want to give some awareness to? And then let's talk a little opening NBA and a little late football and a little bit of the Barstool magic.
Yeah, I think that's about it. If you go to the Barstool Fund, you can see the stories. If you go to my Instagram, Stu Presidente, all the stories are there.
Throw up his Instagram and Twitter, and also throw up some of I see the donations coming in. I think, Dustin, if you can get crazy on the ones and twos behind the scenes here and throw up some of the people, I love them to get a little exposure and a little love. Keep going, Dave. I'm sorry.
No, that's it. Just like I watch the stories, and my guess is if you take the couple minutes to look at these people's reactions, you'll donate because you'll feel it. You'll feel it in your bones.
Well, listen, I want to before we segue into some other content, and we'll come back to it at the end. I just want to thank you for reaching out and letting me be a part of this.
No, I'm glad. I mean, you were, the internet's such a deep place. I obviously knew who you are. You were one of the most requested people. The other people, some I know, I didn't know who Mr. Beast was. Mr. Beast dropped 150 grand in 2 seconds. And I was on the phone with him 3 seconds later. I didn't know who he was. It's crazy.
He sold 7 trillion fucking burgers, dude.
I know. He's telling me about it.
It's pretty amazing. Dave, what do you think? What's your hot take on? Give me some hot sports takes on the beginning of the NBA season. What stands out besides the fact that I think an hour ago I saw that the Mavs were beating the
70-20 or something.
70-20.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a traditional. I don't really. NBA feels like it just ended. The pandemic's so jammed together, and it's still. Football to me is the only sport that kind of works without fans, where it feels sort of similar to a degree.
100%. If you watch the game, I couldn't agree with you more. It's not so fucking different.
Right. The NBA, MLB, those feel really different to me without the crowds. There's something off with it. But I'm curious. I hate Kyrie. I hate him. So watching how Brooklyn does will be interesting to me.
Listen, I think people are completely confused on how good of a basketball player Kevin Durant is. I really do.
He's the best.
Right. I think that's the part that's been most interesting for me. I think people, with that kind of injury, I get it, but 31-32 isn't 31-32. How old are you, Dave?
I'm 43.
Perfect. So I'm 45. So when we grew up, those ages, because these guys weren't working out like this, taking care of themselves. You started getting into those ages, things happen. But now?
Yeah, and they have the surgeries and the technologies and the bounce back. I mean, there's guys bounce back in less than a year for injuries like knee injuries that would be career enders.
Correct. What's your Super Bowl prediction right this half second?
I'm going to say Buffalo and the Saints. I'm rooting for Buffalo. So as you know, Gary, I am the preeminent Patriot fan in the world. Ironically, Bob and Jonathan Kraft called me 10 minutes apart without knowing they were calling me to donate this morning. They had no idea the other one called. I love Buffalo fans. I love them. I love the city. I hope for their sake they can get there, and I'm rooting for it. It's the first time ever the Patriots, they're not involved, so I don't have hate towards anybody else. It's I'm just watching from the sidelines. So I'm rooting for Buffalo, and I think they're pretty good. The Chiefs, I think, could be got.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit in a different place than you.
Yeah, you're in a funny laugh out loud, laugh at you place.
I'm in a place where, I want to punch Josh Allen in the fucking face. I said to my friend Lou today, I'm it's going to be Buffalo and Tampa, and I'm not even going to watch that fucking game. I'm in such a dog shit place. All those years when Buffalo and Miami were straight dog shit. But it was the 2 decades to be dog shit because it didn't matter.
Right.
The Jets were the second best team in that division for all that time. You weren't getting past New England. And so now, finally, the fucking turntable turns. Finally, Tom's out of there. Finally, there's a glimmer of something. And what happens? Buffalo and fucking Miami are rising, and I'm in straight dog shit land.
You know, and
I'm so fucking being a Jets and Knicks fan for the last 20 years is like really fucking interesting shit.
Yeah, it's bad. One of my good friends is the Jets GM, Joe Douglas. So
he's the best. I love Joe so fucking much. Like, honestly, the only thing that is even making me kind of like cool is I believe in Joe so much. I'm devastated. Listen, I don't think you can even begin to truly analyze Sam Darnold. Like, I don't know what, it's not that I wanted Trevor Lawrence. I wanted Joe to have the option to be able to trade it for 7 top 100 picks if he wanted to continue down the Darnold path. But like, I mean, I'll be texting Joe every day starting probably right after this call to trade the second pick for a haul, because I think we have so many things we have to build around.
Yeah, he went to school with one of my best friends at Richmond. Yeah, Richmond. So I've known him forever, like Newport Summers back, college years. I've known him forever since his first job. So yeah, I actually don't hate Darnold. I don't think I agree with you. I don't think you can evaluate him yet.
He's younger than Joe fucking Burrow. The kid's like baby.
Yeah. The Jets have been so bad.
So bad. Like, it's tough. Anyway, I'm fucking sick of that. Let's talk about something else. What do you think about all the exhibition boxing? What's your take on all this stuff we're seeing in the—
It's brilliant. And so I bought a boxing league, not like that, but we bought something called the Rough and Rowdy probably 4 years
by
ago.
The way, Dave, this is if you talk to Erica about this, about 3.5 years ago, 3 years ago, she was in my office. We were talking about something else. I actually think what you did with that is actually the seed and precursor to what we're seeing. I actually think Barstool is not getting enough credit. And not that you're out there for credit or things. It's always execution.
Right.
But like those pay-per-view numbers, like I would watch 9 hours of YouTube videos of 2 random fucking guys trying to punch each other, bare knuckle Kimba,
the old Kimba. Like, and that's how, what's his name? That's how the guy who's Masvidal is one of those guys.
Right. So like, to me, like, I thought you created the precursor in a lot of ways to the pay-per-view. Then the Paul brothers have built on top of it. And now we're like really in like real land. And I think it's like really a fucking thing.
It is. And we actually tried to get Jake Paul to fight in Rough and Rowdy way back when. I agree it's a thing. And I think Jake Paul's next fight is going to be enormous because of what he did in his last one. Where the bubble bursts is if people start to be like, well, these guys can't fight. Like, Jake Paul did the best thing that you can do for any fight game. He created intrigue with a spectacular knockout of Durant in the next.
Yeah, no. Listen, I'm a big Nate fan. I like him as a human, and he's a Nick and all that good stuff. But he's a real athlete.
I thought he was going to win. I would have bet on Nate because of I was like, no, this guy's an NBA. He can dunk. He's like an NBA athlete.
What people are missing is that the Paul brothers are really, really spending a fuckload of time training.
Yes.
Like when people saw that we were on, they're like, you two should fight for charity. And I was like, man, if we took 9 months to train, we would be totally different animals than we are right now. And both of us, and again, we don't super duper know each other, but from everything I know of what you've created and like how you navigate, we would both be so scared shitless to lose and have that video in perpetuity on the internet. Like, I would fucking quit my career to try to win that fight. I'd just be too scared for that video to loop in perpetuity.
Yeah. I know. I would never agree to fight anybody. My shoulders would pop out. It'd be a disaster. That's why I bought the league. But yeah, they're taking it seriously. And we had who's absolutely, I'm drawing a blank, my favorite guy, Teddy Atlas on talking about it. And he says, the other guy's been in the ring. He says, you can train, you can do this. His phrase, when the ninjas come over the wall, it's a different vehicle. It's a different beast. Or Mike Tyson, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. So it's just a different sport and technique and all that. But what he did is he created, can this kid fight? That's what he just created.
The other thing is these people have real audiences. Like the other thing that I think is not talked about enough is brand nostalgia. You look at Tyson Jones. Do you know how much money I would pay for Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson one-on-one right now, Dave?
Yes.
Dave, you know what? I would pay $50 pay-per-view to 21 one-on-one, give those guys 6 months to fucking shred it up, get their shit together. I would be, but that one-on-one, or Dion, how about Dion versus Bo Jackson in a race?
In a race.
Because I've always said this from a business standpoint, nostalgia is wildly fucking underpriced.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, to me, like, I would be gaga on all day Saturday on social and have buddies over. Bird Magic one-on-one? I go nuts.
I don't get as, like, I didn't care about the Tyson fight. And in a problem, like,
you know why? Because you knew it was an exhibition. It's the same reason, you knew that Jake and Nate were fighting. Whereas there's very different rules. I think that has the ability to undermine the Mayweather-Logan Paul fight because it's an exhibition. It's different than what Jake and Nate did.
So then you have to do, and you're right on that, because even if you looked at like the Tiger versus Phil, that sucked because they didn't care. And it's like they're joking around.
Which is why I think and you know this is look, both of our careers have benefited from the decentralization of media. The internet is the middleman. You get anybody that has audience, has intrigue. You look what Jake's doing now, like the way he's goading these 4 to 5 other people right now is pretty fucking intense.
Yeah, no, right. It's brilliant.
And how much is it show? How much is it not? You know, it's always a mix of two, but here's what it comes down to. For example, Dave, I am really fucking good at bubble hockey.
Yeah, right. Really I know it. Yeah, Russia versus USA. What's that? It used to be. You're talking Russia, USA with the boo button?
Yes. To me, I think right now, if we get a little spicy here with each other and get into a 7-game fucking series on bubble hockey, that a fuckload more people than people would ever think would fucking watch that shit.
I agree with it.
Talking about caring, if I lose that shit, I disappear. And by the way, here come all the comments like, Dave, you got to do this, get Gary Vee off the fucking world. But like to me, I punch the fucking, like, to your point, if people care, if 2 people care about anything, darts, fighting, one-on-one, bubble fucking hockey.
If people care and there's stakes, you will tune in.
And there's stakes when people fucking watch.
Right. 100%.
When people watch, now you get into pride. Fuck money, fuck promotion. You get into fucking pride. Like Nate, I don't know how educated people are about, I know you are. Nate Robinson is not only a real basketball player, he's one of the great athletes. The guy would have went top 60 picks in the NFL draft. Like, he's an incredible athlete.
That's why it was so stunning to me, yes. And now what's his legacy? It could be him lying on the ground. It's crazy.
This is what really upsets me because I love him so much. To me, his legacy, like, that image is hard to fucking erase.
Yes.
The guy's won slam dunk contests. He's done incredible things. He's an incredible all-time guy and athlete. It hurts. And I think that's what goes into like I'm not kidding. I don't know how, I assume like I'm uncomfortably competitive. Like, having you go like this and the whole Barstool Mafia shitting on me when you win game 6 in bubble hockey is something I can't live with, which is why I would go into that fucking scared and focused.
Right.
And
listen, I'm not going to sit here. I don't know how much bubble hockey you play, and that's the only reason I'm restraining. By the way,
I don't play I haven't played bubble hockey in 3 years. But it's less about, I'm actually talking theory than setting up a bubble hockey.
I thought we were going down to bubble hockey. It's like I was texting down here, give me a bubble hockey.
Arm wrestling, right? You think about all these fucking muscle heads on fucking like the gram, all looking jacked as shit. You get 2 people with 5 million audience, that fucking arm wrestling thing is going to be fucking crazy.
Anything. I mean, there's obviously huge pressure, and what he's doing is brilliant. I said right when, because it was an interesting reaction, Jake Paul. We had him on, and it wasn't really fair because I said I think you're gonna lose, and then when he won, everybody's like, he just beat it like an athlete, and people hate him. And he called out Conor McGregor, and everyone's like, "You're an asshole. Why would you call out Conor McGregor?" It's like, because he's brilliant. And by the way, I think he's going to fight McGregor eventually because McGregor is going to take a huge fat paycheck for not even having to risk anything.
But that's where it gets interesting. Like, to me, risk anything, right? So, for example, Logan Paul is dramatically bigger than Floyd.
Oh, he is. I thought Mayweather, excuse me. Yeah, I thought Mayweather versus Conor would be a bigger mismatch than Logan versus McGregor because of the size difference. I thought Mayweather was at that fight just toyed. He's like, whenever I feel like I can just put this guy away, I can do it. I think you're right. He's way bigger.
Way bigger. And like, by the way, let's talk about what they're doing. They're doing fighting.
Right.
One punch.
Boxing, and so right, boxing versus the other. So I think that fight now, I've guessed Dylan Dennis who's gonna be fighting next, which is a far different fight than what he just did. But if he beats Dylan Dennis, he's gonna get one of the bigger paydays in fighting. He will.
I actually think that this entire genre can be incredible for boxing because if you think about it, let's talk about Joshua Fury. Let's just talk about that fight.
Yeah.
If the 3 of the 4 undercards are, Bob Memory versus you, a fucking, like.
I don't even like my name being said in the same sentence with that guy. Now that guy, my shoulders didn't pop out, but go ahead.
But I'm saying people that are popping, right? People that are popping. You look at what Dwayne Wade's like culturally relevant.
Yeah.
Like, if Dwayne Wade decides to, box a former basketball, Tracy McGrady, like the undercards of actual big boxing events.
Yeah, I mean, you
change the pay-per-view numbers dramatically.
Big time. It's an interesting thing on a lot of levels because I could see people saying it's horrific for boxing on the other side because the true purists for the game, these guys are in gyms making nothing, sweating away, and you see a guy that is basically now getting the biggest paydays in the game and he's not a real boxer, they say. I could see how that would be extremely frustrating for somebody in it.
Dave, they also said hip hop wasn't real music when you and I were kids.
Yeah, that's true. No.
I mean, like, cool. They told me that internet businesses weren't real businesses. Literally to my fucking face when I was 19, internet businesses aren't real businesses. Like, I don't give a shit what fucking people said is real or isn't. The consumer decides.
Correct. But there is an element of this is supposed to be a sport where it's sport versus entertainment, sport versus entertainment business.
There's people that say golf isn't a real sport. You know this. It's a huge debate.
Right, but again, it's like almost like an Anna Kournikova when tennis. Like she never wins, but she's getting the most money because she's gorgeous. But it's like people will be mad. It's like, well, she's not winning these events.
She's getting the most money off the court. Right?
Correct.
She's also a top 25 player during that era.
Yes, but it is that dynamic. Like, if I was sweating my ass off in the gym with no followers, and I know I can go beat him easily, and I see him getting all the headlines on I'd be furious.
He spent a decade building an audience.
Oh yes, but not through boxing.
People think that you're fucking. This isn't like I laugh at people when they talk about this. I'm like, what
right. No, I agree.
I'm like, they have every 15 to 25-year-old giving a fuck. I'm sorry that you feel you made a nice print magazine around sport. Like, fuck you. Like the consumer decides. Now, on the flip side, I'll watch the Canelo fight and love the defense. And like I like both are super fascinating to me. Like I'm actually a humongous boxing fan and actually love defensive fighters. Everybody hates them because I'm fascinated. I mean, Pernell Whitaker was my favorite fighter growing up.
Oh, sweet pea.
I mean, to me, I just was fascinated by his ability to have that kind of defense. And then obviously Mayweather became the 3.0 version of that. But that doesn't take away the fact that my juices are going to be going the next time there's a celebrity influencer fight that I just think is funny and interesting. Or
100%. 100%. And to be honest, they had the version of it. They had the celebrity boxing a while back. It just they didn't have the right people because they didn't have these huge audiences.
Correct. And Fox had to get you to give a fuck about Screech.
Correct.
The Paul brothers, the McGregors, or these people are in their prime of attention. These
correct.
People who's the guy with the? If Dan Bilzerian, who's been, I feels a little quieter than 3 years ago, but if he decides to, if I hear tomorrow Bilzerian's fighting Steve Aoki, I'm fucking watching.
Right. Yeah. And the Paul brothers are masters of the internet. I mean, you really can't deny that. So they have the huge followings, and they get it. He gets it. When we talk to him, it's like, who's your next fight going to be? It's whoever I can make the most money, who I think have the best chance to win. He's not looking for King Kong. He's looking for the most interesting fight that will allow him to get the next fight.
And for me, people spend $30, $40 to escape. We're in the middle of a global pandemic, right? So for me, that fight that they promote and create an intrigue on is no different than watching that incredible Jamie Foxx movie on Disney Plus that just came out, Soul, or watching Wonder Woman on HBO Max. Humans, it's no different than watching sports. I love people that are like, this is fucking stupid. Why do people spend money on this? I'm like, you spent money on the NBA League Pass. Like, there's a lot of people who don't give a fuck about the NBA. Like, why is Luka throwing a ball in a basket so much greater? Like, people are allowed to have their escapism.
The market determines what the market is. I mean, they wouldn't be doing it if they weren't selling all the pay-per-views.
Dave, I wanted to ask you, this is why I texted you back after our call, but we both have family stuff. Have you seen the sports card thing? Has that hit your radar? Now that I know that you're 43, it means you lived through.
Yeah, I thought I was going to retire on Phil Plantier rookie cards.
No, bro, you were more of a Mike fucking Greenwell and Ellis Burks.
Listen, Phil Plantier in his stance, he hit 72 home runs at All-Star break his rookie year.
He was a Padre, right? He was a Padre then. My friend Brandon Warnicki, big shout out. He bought so many fucking Phil Plantier rookie cards.
I had Phil Plantier and Juan Gonzalez, and those are my two guys. I
was huge on Greg Vaughn and Kenny Lofton. I did well. My two guys kind of panned out a little bit.
And then there was the ones everyone had, the Greg Jeffries, the Ricky Jordans.
Evan Moss was fucking insane for me that one year.
Yeah.
When you first heard this has all been happening the last 2.5, 3 years. Did you say like that's going to be a quick fad, 1 month?
Yeah, I still don't know much about it. I lived through the earlier one, and it like crashed with Beckett's. So I understand. I see what's going on, but I am not wise to it.
What about this? You know, to me, it's funny. 3 years ago when I started talking about this, I was like, you know, you start thinking about who and what. You know, it's interesting. I feel like almost nobody does the current pulse of the culture of sports and youth like this, right? Kudos to you. I've never been able to say that to you. Actually, quickly passing at a Knicks game, I said it to you, but I really believe it, and I have a lot of respect for it. I actually think the organization, the company, has incredible permission to be a major player in it. So
I know it's something we're looking at, and we're aware very much. So like Eric is involved in it. We're having different companies. So it is something that has been percolating now, I would say, for 6 months to a year within our company. Like, all right, what are we doing in this space? Me personally, I haven't been on the forefront of it. I get it. What about wrestling? We have a lot of people who love wrestling. I grew up in wrestling. No. You never liked wrestling? Oh, no. Yes. Yeah, not now. Yeah. All right, ready? Top 3 wrestlers of all time. Start with number 3. I'm going to give you a few minutes here. I'm going to scan the comments and thank everybody. While everybody's here, we've been yapping. Down below, Barstool Fund. We started the program with you. If you're just joining us, Dave here, incredible initiative. Decided, fuck this bullshit. We're going to help small businesses. Literally in a fucking week and a half, has raised 7.4. Let me see if this updates. It doesn't. Yep, 7.48, almost $7.5 million. Kind of shouted me out, and he was exactly right. This seems to be up Gary V's alley. It's true. I love doing GoFundMe's out of nowhere for small businesses. It's where I come from. I kind of made a commitment behind the scenes. I also then wanted to jam tonight and just bring a little awareness. R.I.P. Phil Necro. I see that. That's a great call. That's our era. But we've been just yapping and kind of entertaining a little bit here about sports, which I'm having fun with. I'm giving Dave a few minutes to think through because it's an incredibly important question. Top 3 of all time. Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but I have 2 sets of answers. Okay, I'm gonna play with you here. Tell me before. Don't answer anything. By the way, the person who just said bushwhackers fucking got me fired up. But
What do you explain to me?
So
where
I
you
have
wanna
an
go
early
in it.
era. I have like King Kong Bundy,
I
the
got it.
Iron Sheik,
No,
and
you got
like
it. You got to blend the golden era with the attitude
all of
era.
it. So you got to go
blend it.
Stone Cold, The
You're
Rock, all together.
43. You're 43, which means you're in pocket for the Hogan era and you're in pocket for Stone
Yes.
Cold and Rock. Like, you're perfect for this question.
Yeah.
Take a second.
Are they my favorites?
These are your favorite top 3
So
wrestlers.
it has nothing. Okay.
You don't have to win a debate on merit.
I'm gonna.
Your top 3 favorite wrestlers of all time. Let's go with number 3.
Yeah. This is a ridiculous answer, but he made me laugh every time he got in the ring. Is Iron Mike Sharp. I loved him.
Iron Mike.
Yeah, and he always lost. He's the only
Dave.
who had like a thing, but he never won.
You remember K9 and Barry Horowitz? They were all the same fucking guys. They would lose. All right, beautiful. Dave, honestly, we're getting to know each other here. That has built a lot of equity with me. Iron fucking Mike Sharp.
Yeah, that's what he would do.
Remember? Iron Mike Sharp. And he'd go,
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
Great answer. Beautiful. Number 2.
I love Junkyard Dog. Junkyard Dog.
You loved the fucking chain.
Yes, and I loved his entrance music. Another one bites the dust. I loved his entrance music.
Remember when he was on his all fours and he would headbutt?
Yep. No, he was the best. And then I guess I got to do this because it was so when I wrestle, it was my finishing move. And it was like the only one I could do with my friends. Like my friends when we were like just.
I thought you were about to say the Iron Sheik because the camel clutch everyone can do.
Everyone, nope. Honky tonk man, shake, rattle, and roll.
Wow.
It's an easy one to do and then roll them over.
Were you devastated in SummerSlam when the Ultimate Warrior beat the Honky Tonk Man and took the title?
No, because I just like doing the move. I love the Warrior. I love the Warrior.
So
I'll still go back and watch his speeches every once in a while just to like RIP, just to like laugh.
So he was there a wrestler that would make you upset if they lost because you actually loved them for a moment?
I mean, I was a Hulkster guy. I mean, and when when he came back with NWO and all, that was
insane,
spectacular.
Do you know that was a Japanese wrestling storyline? Bischoff did a great job with interpreting like that. That was.
I didn't know. All right. And you know who my number one who's ever in the whole thing? Like I love Mean Gene. I love Bobby the Brain. Like those guys are so brilliant. Like some of the best comedians who ever lived.
100%.
Really, like the stuff they say.
Man, I was such a big Randy the Macho Man Savage fan, and when I got to the age where I knew he was going to lose to Hogan in WrestleMania and lose the title, and I was depressed for the whole week. I
still use, so Penn bought us, when Penn's stock goes up, I'll put a Ric Flair clip that like, I'm the dirtiest player in the game. Like I'm never gonna stop getting out of that. I'll do that. And when everyone's doubting me and we end up being wrong, it's who is this? Bobby the Brain, Mr. Perfect vignette of when he's always perfect. One of my favorite ones. He throws the pass, catches it.
In that 80s era, the way they would hype, by the time Razor Ramon, by the time Mr. Perfect, by the time Zeus would be in the ring, you were so jacked.
Yes. Yes.
They did such a great job of like because we had Saturday morning and would do the vignettes and here they would come. And I was so hardcore wrestling. I knew that other guys were in different leagues and it was huge for me.
Mr. The $1 Million Man, he made the kids do the push-ups and like just knock them over on the last one. He was great. There was a lot of, I've tuned out. I got back in and
I got to take care of something. I don't know what's going on at my door. Can we go take a step back? We'll come with a little more talk, but can you one more time for the people that just joined, a little more awareness to the Barstool Fund and ask for maybe people get involved? I'll be back in 20 seconds.
Yeah. Barstool Fund, donate. We're raising money for small business. He's out. I'm in Miami, so I go shower. I have people coming over, so I don't know how long this thing's going on for, like another 6 hours. But in the meantime, donate, barstoolfund.com. You follow it along. You go on my Instagram, Stool President. I go on Barstool Sports. You see all the companies we're donating to and the stories. I just gave a little tip that you don't know, Gary, which is I'm in Miami and I'm going out, so I don't have all night.
Oh, right. So we're not doing this for 9 hours?
Correct. That's what I said.
Listen, I'll let you go in a minute. Let's talk about a couple other things, 80s style. Favorite cartoon growing up?
Scooby-Doo.
Period. Do you remember Laugh
G.I.
Olympics?
Joe.
What about Laugh Olympics?
No, nope, never saw it. Never heard of it.
It was on USA, and it was like the Scooby Doobies versus the Yogi Yahooies. It was like a 1970s cartoon, but Grape Ape was in it. They fucking reprogrammed it for us.
No idea what that is.
Hot takes, Punky Brewster.
What about her? Hot?
No, I don't know. Whatever you wanted to say.
She was like, I had a crush on Punky Brewster.
Punky Brewster or Kelly Kapowski?
Oh, well, you're at different. You don't even know where your privates are during the Punky Brewster era. During the Kelly Kapowski,
Let's go in the middle. Winnie Cooper.
Well, you got an MFK here, so it's like Kelly Kapowski is like the sexiest. Yeah, and Winnie Cooper, you want to marry.
I understand. What about He-Man? We're big on
Loved
it.
it.
Favorite character?
I had He-Man. I had Skeletor. Who?
Moss Man. Remember he was all like Moss. What about Stinkor? Remember his action figure smelled?
Yes, I vaguely remember those. I had a bunch of those. I had the Transformers I was big with, Dinobots. I had all this stuff.
The last time you cried because of a sports loss. I'll give you mine while you're thinking.
Game 6, Red Sox. Bill Buckner.
You cried.
Yeah.
Of course. You were fucking young.
You were 9? Yeah. It's hard to cry, Gary, when my teams win like every year.
Actually, that's a good segue. Let's play a little bit. So last time you cried was Bill Buckner Game 6, which makes a ton of sense. You were 9, I think.
Yep.
If I got my math right.
That
was 86. I was
86.
11. I was born in 75.
Yeah, because it was 12 at 89. Yes, correct.
So that makes a ton of sense. I can't even fathom that. Literally fucking fathom that. The last time I cried was week 1 of the week 1. This is crazy. Week 1 of the 97, 98 or 98 season when the Jets lost to the 49ers. When Garrison Hurst had a 98-yard run in overtime, because I was so convinced that was going to be our squad, and I literally cried. I was 22 fucking years old.
I have a video. People who know me are going to call bullshit on this because there's a video the Patriots lost to the Chiefs in New England, and I was at the game. It was a regular season game, and it was in the midst of our dynasty, and I was having an allergic reaction.
When you guys got blown the fuck out.
No, it was in New England. It was when Goodell was there with the towels.
Was that the game when
we lost that game? But we lost in Kansas City when everyone's like the dynasty's dead. But I was having an allergic reaction, so it looked like I was crying. So I just took my camera and made a phone, and it seemed like I was crying. And everyone's like, "Oh, it's a regular season game."
You're 43 years old as a Boston fan. I have a really interesting question. So I actually genuinely enjoy the process of trying to win. Like, it's fun for me. I really do. To your point, and what an incredible run it's been for Boston sports over the last 2 decades. Do you feel like when you were chasing it as a kid, because there was so much bad luck, and you had sad things happen, Lewis death for the Celtics, and there was, I remember when the Pats were 1-15 and the only win was against the Jets. You lost the Super Bowl to Green Bay. Is it different now that you've won all the rings? Is it different? It has to be.
I think the Red Sox is different. The Patriots,
sure, right?
What's that?
For sure.
Yeah. The chase was almost as fun. Then you catch the girl. It's like, and they won a bunch. The Patriots are different, and I'm most closely associated with them, and I have a rivalry with the commissioner, all that jazz. But the Patriots dynasty has never been smooth in the sense everyone hates them so much. So, and there's so much, you cheated, you did this, you did that.
It's a little bit like us against the world. Fuck
every year, it's like, we're going to say fuck you to you, and we're going to come do it again. Even the last time they won the Super Bowl with Brady and, Gronk, and they make the video with the bad boys, playing behind it, that you probably puked, but it was still here. That I loved. It's I love being in America's face.
I haven't watched the last 4 Super Bowls that the Patriots have been in. I don't even know anything about that Falcons game. It was one of the great decisions of my life was realizing, wait a minute, if you don't see it, you don't feel it the same way.
Yeah. So I'm the polar opposite. I was at the Falcons game. I was at the Marshawn Lynch 1 yard interception. I was at the interception game, the Malcolm Butler. I was slumped in my seat because you have mixed fans and the game was over if they ran the ball. And then the interception, I threw my cell phone. I just threw it. And I had to crawl through like popcorn and stuff, like 20 rows up in an empty stadium to find it after the thing was done.
What about boxing real quick? I'm going to let you go in a second. Real quick, actually, for everybody's listening, I know a lot of my community is on here because I'm streaming on my platforms. Couple things. This Barstool Fund really hit me, here. I'm a huge fan of Erica, the CEO of Barstool. I've known her a long time. I admire so much of what this man who's with me, Dave, and that whole crew, like KFC and fucking Cat, and like the whole thing is just great execution. I have just a lot of admiration for winners that win, and the media execution. I know plenty of people have their opinions about Barstool, but just the execution I'm impressed. But what you're doing with this Barstool Fund is a real big deal. You're really fucking helping people. I see comments in here like razzing me, razzing you, and I'm like, this man's helping people.
Right.
You raised almost $8 million in less than 2 weeks that are going directly to businesses who literally potentially would be going out of business after spending their blood, sweat, and tears for decades sometimes into a business on something that you can't control. And the fact that from the goodness of heart and hard work to build the audience you've built, you've been able to create this event, it's incredible. So 2 things for everybody who's listening. 1, if you are a business that has been hit very hard by the pandemic and you still have your payroll active, and if you go to Barstool Fund, I'm sure they'll teach you how to apply. Please, everybody who's part of my community, if you're a business that could benefit from this, especially since I'm putting personal money in, knowing some of those pennies or dollars are going to you is huge for me. Please do that. For everybody else who's watching, if you're fortunate enough to be in a place in your life where even if you give $50, if you go to barstoolfund.com right now, like that actually is going to help somebody in a real way. And by the way, I'm on a lot of nonprofits. As most of you that follow me know, I'm not very loud about the good things I do. I don't think guilting is fair. Nobody knows what's going on behind somebody's door. So many of you are going through tons of things. Many of you want to give your hard-earned money to things other than small businesses that hit that pandemic, and that's incredible, and I love you for that. And many of you don't want to give, and that's it's America or wherever you are in the world. It's your choice. However, if you're interested, if you're being entertained right now, Melissa, that's incredible. Melissa Lee, I can give $50. That matters, Melissa. That actually fucking matters. So I just want to say that again, and Dave, thank you so much. 55, thank you, Jennifer. I want to thank you for tagging me yesterday. It really gave me a boost of excitement.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having me on and just spreading the word. And it's a great cause. It's a needed cause. And if you go to the Barstool Fund page, you can figure it out. And if you go to Barstool, my socials, you'll see all the stories and you'll see why it's an important cause. It's right out in front of you.
Dave, what's in store for Barstool? Just like for 5 minutes, I'm going to let you go because it sounds like you want to hit the town hard in Miami and, probably break all the rules and get the bid and all that. You've
already had it twice, I think. Yeah, so it's crazy because we sold, obviously, the company to a casino group. Maybe not obviously, but Penn National. We even sell the hats on the great marketing. I got people wearing our stock symbols around. But so.
Is that a SPAC?
No, nope. It's been crazy. The stock was 26 when they did the acquisition, went to 40. Corona hit, it went to 4, and it's at 95 right now, all in the span of a year. It's been crazy. So, but, the casinos were shut down, they're opening, so we're supposed to be launching the sports book. Sports gambling's legal. So as states legalize it, my focus will be getting our audience, our crowd playing with us. So that's a huge focus of ours.
It's funny. Do you know one of the biggest reasons I thought sports cards would come back 3 years ago was because of gambling?
No, why?
Well, it's another form of gambling. Right?
Oh yeah, yes, absolutely.
In a real meaningful way. I mean, the numbers have been staggering in that world, and it's it's funny. I'm really fascinated by betting. I think it reminds me of alcohol in moderation. I think it's an incredible additive to the experience, and I really, obviously, me and you growing up on the East Coast and the towns we grew up in those eras, we know a bunch of degenerates that have gotten themselves fucked up. But anything in life comes to balance.
It's a legalized vice. I mean, it's alcohol, it's gambling, weed now. You know, that's what it is.
Pizza is a big thing in your life. I'm going to let you go in a second. A bunch of people are like, you two need to do a pizza and wine thing. I think that's actually a fun idea.
Yeah, huge. Pizza may be like the number one thing people know me by. Yeah,
you really hit like a moment there. It felt like about 18 months ago. I'm trying to remember when it hit my
Still going. We do it. I do it every day. I eat pizza on the site almost every single day. The pizza community knows me.
You rate it.
Yeah, rate it. And I've been doing it now for like 5 years straight. Yeah.
And so
5 years.
What's the highest rated pizza of all time?
The two that stick out, Sally's and New Haven. New Haven, Connecticut's the pizza capital of the world, period.
Is that true?
Yes.
I mean, in one man's opinion, or is that like wildly like a big thing? Like fucking New Haven, Connecticut's big.
They're very aware of it. There's like books and movies about it, but it is. They're all close to certain style. So you have Frank Pepe's, you have Frank Pepe's and Sally's. You can throw a baseball, one or the other. Modern.
It's like the chili. It's like the Philly cheesesteak thing.
Yes, I would say that's fair. Yeah. And then New York, I like John's a Bleecker. Someone just said Connecticut or New York. It's New Haven, Connecticut. It's that area. It's not all of Connecticut. And New York is great pizza. They have the most of it. There's a billion. There's a lot of bad pizza in New York, too.
If Kraft moved the team to Hartford or wherever the fuck he was talking about moving him to way back when he first bought him, do you think you'd be a Patriots fan or would you have been pissed? And by the way,
I don't know.
By the way, you're 43. I'm a little bit pissed about this bullshit Buffalo thing you just said. They fucking dominated our division in your youth and shit on you. Like
but it didn't matter. The Patriots are so bad. It wasn't like
it does matter.
No, it
didn't matter to you. Respect. I want to punch Thurman Thomas in the throat.
The Patriots were the worst franchise of all time. So they were just a laughing stock. So it sucked. But it didn't matter if it was the Bills. It didn't matter if it was the 49ers. It didn't matter if it was the Cowboys. Like, the Patriots aren't going to beat these guys. Now, like the
Jets. They were in your division.
Yeah, but there wasn't like what you have, this angst that I can see in your face with,
angst? It's not fucking angst, brother. It's like fucking anger.
Parcells and Belichick and Spygate. There's that history together that didn't exist with the Bills.
Other than they shit on you for like 30, you lost them like 30 games in a row.
Yeah, but we lost everybody. We were terrible. All right, Gary, I'm going out.
What are you going to do tonight? I need full details. Like, give me
There's a place called.
Let me live vicariously through your face.
Kiki on the River. I've never been. It's a big Sunday night spot. So I'm supposed to be meeting people. I haven't showered. I'm a disaster, and I'm meeting people in 45 minutes.
I hope you have a really good time. Happy New Year. Thank you. Thank you for stepping up and doing this for small businesses.
Thanks for having me on.
I'll hit you up. I've got more things I want to do. In the whole VaynerX world, we have a small agency called the Sasha Group, which I do for small businesses. I named it after my dad. I'm going to talk to the president of that company, and we're going to do something in addition to what I did personally with you over the phone. And I wish you continued success with this, and I hope you have a great New Year's.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You too. Take care. Bye.